Welcome to the Double R Show, the podcast that features everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, directed and produced by Paul Robertson and hosted by the voice of Lincoln City, Roger Robertson.
Welcome to the Double R Show. Double R here along with son Paul, and today we have an opportunity to talk to a couple of people that have national interests, if you will, and one very local, but the national interests are really localized as well.
Yeah, so we've got an attorney, a new attorney to town. Kate Sinkus is going to talk about immigration law work that she's been involved with for all of her life and been out of D.C. most of the time, and is now just relocated to the Oregon coast. And another kind of Virginia sort,
True
right?
story, true story.
Dr. Jay Cox is going to return and talk a little bit about the JFK kind of update that we have been hearing about and the like. And then the local guy here, he's been around for a few years, I think, now already, Mr. Sean Livingood, and we'll talk a little bit about his digital marketing experience.
All of that and more coming up right after this.
Home-style cooking in a hometown atmosphere. Hi, I'm Adina from Zeller's Restaurant in Rose Lodge in Lincoln City. Join us daily for good fun and great food. You can even kick up your heels at Zeller's.
You'll find a book for every occasion at Bob's Beach Books. Something to read as you relax by an open fire? We have it. Studying a particular topic? We have that too. Traveling to a far-off land? Discover it first by reading. Bob's Beach Books in the Ocean Lake area of Lincoln City? Come discover.
A newer attorney in Lincoln City, and we welcome Kate Sinkus. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
You are in Josh Zantillo's office.
I am. There's 4 attorneys now. I'm the only female.
And what brought you to Lincoln City?
Initially, my daughter came to Oregon because she's a duck, and I found Lincoln City just to be a really welcoming, warm place. And I bought a house, and now I'm practicing law again.
Now, you are practicing law, but you've got a different bent on it, if you will. You are into helping people stay in the country?
That's correct. I'm an immigration attorney, and my background has been that I've written decisions for judges, I've done private practice, I've done nonprofit, but here I am in private practice, and I'm helping people understand what their rights are as we're in a different administration, and helping them apply for different forms of relief that will allow them to stay.
This is a totally different bent on law because this is a passion as much as it is law, correct?
It is. I have done immigration law my entire career. It's the reason I went to law school. I picked my law school because it is well known for immigration, and I love what I do.
Is there that big a call for it here in Lincoln City, or do you deal mainly statewide?
No, there's a lot of people in Lincoln County who need it. I'm the first immigration attorney in a long time who's been here, and I think people are still learning about me and trying to figure out where I'm practicing. But we have a large Latino population. We have a large Guatemalan population that speaks indigenous languages. And there's a lot of people who don't know that there is somebody they can go talk to find out if they have a legal way to remain in the United States.
I am amazed. I've heard 2 of your presentations. I heard one at the Chamber of Commerce. I heard the one up at the Episcopal Church. You do speak fluent Spanish as well.
I am not fluent. I am 95% of the way there, but I give my presentations in English and in Spanish, and I have now given 6, and the 7th one is on April 7th at Atonement Lutheran Church in Newport, and it is also sponsored or co-sponsored by the Lincoln County Bar Association.
So what are the takeaways from those presentations?
That every person who's residing in the United States has certain rights, that the Constitution under the 14th Amendment allows for birthright citizenship. So if you are born here, you are a citizen, and you have the same rights anyone else does. The right to remain silent, anything you say can and will be used against you, the Miranda rights. Mm-hmm. That's where I start off. I also talk about the right not to engage with ICE if they're knocking on your door. You don't absolutely have to open the door.
You don't have to let them in.
You do not. You do not. You can ask them to slip the warrant under the door or put it up next to a window. A lot of times ICE has administrative warrants. They're not judicial warrants. And an administrative warrant can be signed by me chief counsel at ICE or chief counsel at any other government agency. It's not a judge. So it's really not much of a warrant at all. And so I tell people not to open the door until they see whether it's a judicial warrant. If the judicial warrant has their correct name, and if they have two last names, both have to be correct, their correct address, signed by a judge, and a recent signature within the last 2 weeks, then they need to open the door. If it doesn't have all those things, it's not a judicial warrant, and the door should stay closed.
Does this hold true if they were stopped in a vehicle as well?
If you're stopped in a vehicle by local law enforcement, you do have the right to remain silent. Most of the time, our local law enforcement will tell you what you're doing wrong. They'll say, ma'am, you were going 20 miles over the speed limit. We need your license and registration. I always tell people if you have a valid license to give that. If you don't have a valid license, you shouldn't be driving. But our law enforcement do not ask about immigration status. We are a sanctuary state. We were the first state in the United States to be a sanctuary state, and the Oregon Department of Justice takes that seriously, as does Chief Broderick.
What does that really mean, sanctuary state?
Sanctuary state means that immigration enforcement is not something that our local police officers engage with. So in other states, ICE may call the local police chief and say, we're going to come in to this business at this time in this date, and we're looking for these 4 people. And the local police will help them with that, whether it's by, making sure that everything around the area is safe as they go in to do the raid. Here in Oregon, you cannot do that.
Would you do me a favor and repeat a lot of that in Spanish? Because we have a number of people that do listen in Spanish is their primary language.
Sure. Oregon es un estado santuario y no puedo permitir la policía a trabajar con los agentes de ICE porque hay reglas y no puedo asistir las agencias de ICE. La policía está separada y está en este área para ayudar a la gente y no quiero hablar sobre sus status de inmigración.
If you are picked up by ICE and you are not a natural citizen, whatever would happen to be, you did mention they still have rights.
Absolutely. You always have the right to see an attorney. You have the right not to sign a document until you've seen an attorney. And if you don't have a final order of deportation, you have the right to go to immigration court.
But most people that are here illegally are nervous about the whole situation.
Well, I'll correct you. People
Okay.
are not illegal. People are undocumented.
Undocumented.
So if there are
Thank
people
you.
here who are undocumented, they are nervous. And the reason is we have a president who's very much focused on enforcement and on changing things. So this morning, Health and Human Services lost 10,000 employees. There's people in D.C. who are worried about different things. But the people here are worried about immigration enforcement because they do a lot of the jobs that American citizens won't do. We need them to do those jobs, and yet they're still feeling like they will be targeted.
If somebody needs your assistance, they get a hold of you how?
They call area code 541-994-7350, or you can email me at Kate, Kate, at centellolawgroup.com. And I return calls within 24 hours. I love what I do. This is why I became a lawyer.
And repeat that in Spanish.
Sure. Mi nombre es Catalina Sinkins y mi correo electrónico es Kate, Kate, at Centello Law Group, ZANTELLOLAI.com.
Kate, thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Saturday, April 12th, Chinook Winds presents a special one-night-only tribute to the one and only Bob Seger. It's Forever Seger, with authentic vocals and commanding performances, and the unmistakable Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band sound. Tickets start at just $20. Reserved by phone at 888-MAIN-ACT, online at ChinookWindsCasino.com, or at the Chinook Winds box office. This is a 16 and older event. Trevor Seeger, Saturday, April 12th at Chinook Winds Casino Resort, where concerts are better at the beach.
If you're looking for great early garden fresh produce, it's Kenny's IGA in the Bay Area of Lincoln City. 4 generations of Morgans caring for your every grocery need. All of your favorite beverages, a full deli, meat, produce, and of course, groceries.
We at La Roca are proud of our food, but don't take our word for it. Read the reviews. One person wrote, the service was friendly and efficient. Another writes, La Roca has become one of our favorites because it's authentic Mexican food.
Welcome back again to the Double R Show. We have a gentleman with us that has been here twice and doing a return visit because some information has come out I probably did not expect to find out about. Dr. Jay Cox is with us. He performed the autopsy on JFK.
I was at the autopsy.
You were
yes,
at
sir.
the autopsy?
Yes, sir.
But now all of the information has come out about the assassination of President Kennedy. Has it not, or has it?
I think most of it is. There's several thousand pages just released in the last 2 weeks, but there's not much new information that came out.
Anything that surprised you, Dr. Cox?
No, and I've been following it because the scholars are sort of digesting it day by day, and there's just little minor things coming out, but nothing new to support conspiracy or anything like that.
Was there a lot of materials released about your involvement in the autopsy?
No, that was all done way back.
Okay.
There's been, the Warren Commission was soon after the assassination. And then in 1978, they had another big investigation called the Assassination Committee. And so they went over most of everything at that time. But we can discuss some of the conspiracy theories.
Please.
Yeah. Well, for instance, one of the things that came out now just the last few weeks is the Russians said that the time that Oswald spent over there in Russia, in Minsk, it said that he was not a very good shot. He was not very good with a rifle. Well, the only documentation we have is when he was in the Marines, and after only 3 weeks of training with the M1 rifle, he was able, from a standing position, to hit a bullseye 10 inches in diameter at a distance of 200 yards 8 out of 10 times.
Oh, that's rather...
He scored 212, which is a sharpshooter, the second highest rating in the Marines. The lowest he ever shot in the Marines was 191. So he was a pretty good shot. But that's still coming out again. Is people saying, no, he couldn't have performed this on his own.
A lot of people said that the number of shots could not have been fired in the period of time that he did, correct?
Well, yes, and that was the other thing that came out in both the Warren Commission and the Assassination Committee. They were trying to see if they could get that many shots off. Originally, they thought that the first shot was the one that went through Kennedy's throat and Connolly. Second shot missed, and the third shot hit the head. Mm-hmm. But subsequently, they found out that the first shot missed. So he had plenty of time to line up the second shot, and there were about 5 seconds almost between the second and third shots. He was using a 4-power scope, and so instead of not 200 yards, Kennedy's head looked like it was about 25 yards away through that scope.
Anything that came out, Dr. Cox, that you sit back and say, really? Did that really happen?
Well, that night, if you remember, it was quite interesting because when he left Parkland, all the doctors down there thought all the bullets came from the front. And when he got to Bethesda and they finally examined the back, they found out at Bethesda all the bullets came from the back. So here there was 2 different things that were just on that night alone. It was not until the next day that they corresponded and found out they'd done a tracheostomy, which is a opening of the windpipe, right through the bullet exit on the throat. And so therefore it was disguised. We did not know that the night of the autopsy. In fact, when they found the little hole in the back, we spent a lot of time taking x-rays and looking for the bullet that night.
You have been so close to history that most of us will never encounter. Do you ever get tired of talking about it?
Well, no, because so many people are interested in that, and almost anybody who was alive at that time. It's now been 63 years or so, 62 years, so it's been quite a while. But anybody that was alive pretty much remembers where they were when they heard the news and so on.
I remember the exact spot I was standing in.
Exactly, very, very vividly. So
now you are going to be presenting a special discussion on another individual that you had some encounter with, if you will, or you got something tied to. This goes back to Vietnam. Can you tell us a little bit about that program that you're going to be doing for Rotary?
Well, yes, I'm going to. Now that Vietnam is the average Vietnam veterans is in the 70s now, so people are now interested in what went on in that war and why we were there, what happened, and some of the information, and so that what I'm going to do is just discuss a little bit about the background of Vietnam, how we got there, and some of my personal experiences while I was there.
And that's going to be coming up when, Doc?
April 30th.
April 30th.
Yes.
Again at the Rotary meeting.
Yes, it's going to be at the Rotary meeting at the Cultural Center.
And if somebody wants to attend, can they make reservations, I assume?
I think so. They just get a hold of our secretary, Estelle Harlan, and we'll get them in.
Okay. Now, I look forward to experiencing that as well. I did not serve in Vietnam, but I was in the service during the Vietnam era war. And I think anybody that had any connection whatsoever really never gets over it, do they?
Mm-hmm.
Does it still live with you?
Yes, it does. And it's interesting that most people are able to put that aside. At the time, we never heard of the term PTSD. That came out after the Vietnam incident, and it was known as shell-shocked. Mm-hmm. So we did have that, but so most people were able to compartmentalize it and put that aside, whereas some people just lived it all the time. We have people today that still are suffering from anger and frustration and depression. And that's one of the things about the VA. They've been so good in their counseling because they now know what they're dealing with.
Dr. Jay Cox, I never tire of listening to you and finding out more about your background, because you have one of the most interesting backgrounds of anybody that I know of in Lincoln City. It is amazing. Dr. Jay Cox, back in a moment.
Zantello Law Group has moved. I'm Josh Zantello, and our law firm is now located across from the Lincoln City Community Center on Northeast 21st. Our law firm of knowledgeable professionals stand ready to assist you in life's matters.
Northwest Septic Service is your one-stop shop for all your septic needs.
Northwest Septic Service offers pumping, maintenance, repair, and inspections with one call, 541-994-6977.
Buying or selling a home? Northwest Septic Service can inspect your sewer line or an entire septic system.
Old or failing septic system? Northwest Septic Service can rejuvenate most drain fields, saving you thousands of dollars. 541-994-6977.
Serving Lincoln, Tillamook, and Yamhill counties, Northwest Septic Service. Digital media. That is a big concept all to itself. With us is Sean Livingood, and Sean is with the Oregon Coast Community College Small Business Development Center. Is that correct?
I'm an instructor with them, yes.
And you are teaching digital media. In simple layman's terms, digital media is what?
Well, digital media is really anything that's on the internet, any kind of short form video, text, search engine optimization, things like that.
So even this podcast?
This podcast is absolutely digital media.
Huh. So what are you offering through the community college for the business community?
Well, I'm a digital marketing consultant, and I've been taking classes with the SBDC, and I've had a really great time with that. Learned a lot about running my own business. So I spoke with some of the folks at the SBDC about doing a class, which is where I met Paul, and I did a class on search engine optimization recently.
Ooh, back up.
Oh, yes. I'm starting to get in the weeds.
Yeah. What is that?
Search engine optimization is the practice of getting the information that you have, whether it's a video or a website or your social media profiles, to appear more prominently on Google search.
Okay.
And that's very important because obviously Google search is how we all find information these days. And there's a lot of search aspects to other things like social media, like YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook. People use search on that as well. And the kind of stuff that I do is all about helping small businesses get more prominent in those search results.
Is that a trick, or is it something that takes some science to it, if you will?
It's a bit of both. There's definitely some folks who fall more on the trick side of things, but with my own practice, I find that it's just better to offer a good user experience and really give people what they want to find. And very often that lines up with what search engines want to have as well.
So are you helping people design their search engines, or what do you actually do?
Well, search engine optimization and search engine marketing has a lot of different aspects to it. So there's kind of your on-website aspect where you want to have really good content and you want to include keywords and you want to include stuff that's relevant to people's searches. But there's also some stuff like search engine advertising where you can just buy ads and get up at the top of the page as well.
Just buy your way to the top.
Yeah, that is how a search engine would prefer that you do it, since that leads to a lot more revenue for them.
At a recent Chamber of Commerce luncheon, the Depot Bay, Tradesman Charters in Depot Bay, rather, was announced that they had won some national state award and on and on and on. But he got up and talked about utilizing Google and how important that was to his business.
Oh, absolutely. That's a very common story with a lot of businesses,
Really?
Especially local businesses, where local businesses will often have what we call a local business listing. And if you're searching for stuff on the internet these days, it's very, very likely that whatever you're searching for is going to have results that are tailored to your specific physical location. So if you're looking for a service like a fishing charter or a plumber or a roofer or something like that, then it's very important that you as a business owner have a really good presence in those local search results so that you can find customers in your area.
So would you be offering another class to help people work through this process?
Oh, I certainly hope so.
Okay.
I do offer one-on-one consulting as well. People can find that information on my website, but I would like to work with the SBDC in the future. I believe I'll be coming back in the fall for some additional classes, but we're still working on the details.
And I keep coming back to the classes that they're offering up there. There's got to be a lot of people like myself initially had no idea what you were talking about.
Absolutely. And that's really the crux of it is people who run businesses know that they need this thing, but they don't know what it is.
They don't know what this thing is.
Yes. They know they want more customers. And that's what I try to tell people about what I do. I just help people get found online and I help you get more customers. And everything that I do works towards that goal, whether it's improving your SEO, improving your search
SEO.
Yes, search engine optimization, your organic search visibility, whether it's improving that, getting ads running for your business, improving your website, anything like that. It's all for the function of getting more customers and more revenue, which is what we all want as businesses.
Do we have to buy ads on the internet to get that FaceTime?
It doesn't hurt. There's definitely ways to do that. I've found that ads tend to get a lot more visibility in search results these days. It used to be you could lean on organic search visibility a lot more, but as you might have noticed, Google has taken up more and more space on their own search results with ads. So oftentimes you are forced to spend a little bit of money on there, but there are some ways that you can have a very efficient ad spend with a relatively low budget.
Is one source more powerful than another? For instance, Facebook, is that more powerful than all of the other items? Or
It really depends on the business.
Okay.
The way that I frame it, I say that search engine marketing, which is going to be your organic search, your SEO, or your paid ads through something like Google Ads, that's really good for products and services that people need. So something you were looking for, and I need it right now. My roof is leaking. My toilet's overflowing. I got to find something right now. But something like Facebook ad, something that might...
A cruise.
Yeah, a cruise. It's for something that people want.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you're creating ads around that, you're really needing to create a story behind what you offer, and you're selling an experience. And you've got these wonderful visuals you can put in things like Facebook, where you've got good graphics and video and things like that. And people may not necessarily be thinking they're going to buy that right away, but if you can tell a compelling enough story and get in front of the right people, you might just convince them.
And last but not least, how do we get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me on my website. Check out SeanLivingood.com. That's ShawnLivengood.com. You can also Google me and probably find all of my social profiles as well.
And good luck to you and continued success.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be back in just a minute.
Wouldn't it be great to have all your insurance needs handled by one agency? This is Charlotte Lado with Farmers Insurance and the Insurance Store. Visit our office next to the Wildflower Grill in Lincoln City. Let us be your one stop for your personal, commercial, health, and Medicare insurance needs.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, it becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs is probably the best you can do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
And welcome back to the Double R Show. Paul, we have a number of other events taking place in and around the Lincoln City community we wanted to highlight. And one happens to be an Easter egg hunt. It's going to be the Kiwanis Easter egg hunt. You participated in that as a youngster.
Yeah, but I was too slow to get many of those eggs. I was a little kid and chasing around older brothers and other folks that were just way ahead of me, and I would end up with like 2 eggs. But yeah,
we'll save eggs for you again this year.
Okay.
The bring your own basket. This is April the 19th. It starts setting up around about 11 o'clock. Easter egg hunt at noon. It's over in a minute or 2 minutes, so make certain that you've got the kids down there. Easter egg hunt, and this is going to be at Discovery Park in the Taft area of Lincoln City, sponsored by the Lincoln City Kiwanis Club. Great Oregon Coast Garage Sale taking place April 18, 19, and 20. Habitat for Humanity's 3rd Annual Home and Garden Show down at the Newport Rec Center. This is on Saturday, April 26th. And Community Days upcoming. All kicks off on Friday, April 18th with the Mudflat Golf Classic, Bonfire, and the Great Oregon Coast Garage Sale. Lots of things upcoming from your side of the table. We have
got lots of stuff here too. Yeah. So again, tonight is the A Warming Planet. That's going to be a pub talk down at the Pelican. Register at cascadehead.org for that tonight. And then upcoming in the next months or so here, we're going to be launching what is known as a Biosphere Beach Ambassador Program. So,
interesting.
Yeah, we've got a gentleman that's going to be kind of staked out there down on 15th Street at a number of days through the summer. And just somebody to help provide interpretive kind of support for people, resource for people to learn about the tide pools and the beach areas and the like. So look for that. And then we're also going to be returning our Exploriences again this summer. And that's something that we've done there at Knight Park, where people can learn all about the Cascade Head Biosphere Reserve and the UNESCO site that we live, work, and play in.
And for the people that have no idea what you're talking about with the Cascade Head Biosphere, that is what?
It is an international designation that we got for our area, associated primarily with Cascade Head at the time, back in 1976. It was expanded and reauthorized in 2016 to 2017, and now includes not just Cascade Head and that estuary, but the whole watershed of the Salmon River area. The Salmon River watershed includes most of Lincoln City, includes the Marine Reserve that goes out 3 miles. So it's 102,000 plus acres of designation, and it's a United Nations designation. So it's kind of a big deal. And if you haven't heard about it, you want to learn more, come to the pub talk tonight again at 6 o'clock at Pelican, but also just go to cascadehead.org to learn more.
Now, you have some educational tools that you are developing for the younger kids as well, correct?
Yeah, so this month we are actually launching our Raindrop to Sea Trail. So that is a literal trail that is in the watershed on the West Wind property that we hike kids up to the top of, overlooking the Marine Reserve, and then march them all the way down this watershed and learn how a raindrop makes its way all the way back out to sea and what that means for the ecology and the like. So
I think you need to do that for the adults as well.
Well, yeah, it is a really great program, and people can learn about that program and other educational programs we have on our website. Again, just look at the education page, and there's great resources about that trail. There's also then the Exploring Nature's Family that we do in May, and then next fall we'll be launching back into our Secret Life of Salmon program for 3rd and 4th graders.
All right, I guess that'll do it to the doings.
Indeed.
And we encourage you to like and save and send this to friends so they too can get involved with the Double R Show. And donuts.
Oh, and some donuts.
And some donuts.
Yeah, so always bringing us some donuts. That's our Double R Show Donut Club membership, where people can basically support the program through a monetary donation through our website and buy us a donut effectively. Yeah.
For Paul and Jen, I'm Double R. Have yourself a happy day.
You've been listening to The Double R Show. Join Roger and Paul Robertson as they explore everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, produced by Always Productions and hosted by Roger Robertson. Have a story? Email contact@alwaysproductions.com or call 458-201-3039. For The Double R Show, I'm Jana Grawn.